see. Good morning.
Good morning, recovery.
Good morning. Good morning. That music, it makes me want to just start singing. I don't even know. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome. Saturday morning coming down. We're on June 14th already, guys.
I know.
2025.
Beautiful day out there to do the Walk for Jesus.
Yes, today is the Walk for Jesus. We get to be up at the coffee shop at 9 a.m. this morning. So you guys come out with us, and this is my first time doing something like this.
Me too.
So
yeah,
super excited. And look at our table and who we have this morning. We got Charity, Tony, and myself. Mr. Tony, welcome.
Welcome, Tony. He's a part of Valley Rise Above.
Yes, he has just entered our program, got an amazing testimony in behind his story here. But we like to start out this morning with how everyone is doing. How are you doing today, right now, in this very moment, Charity?
I am doing well.
Well,
yesterday I had so much opposition,
mm-hmm.
but I woke up this morning and I'm thankful to be alive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thankful that the Lord gave me another day.
Yeah.
And I'm just thankful that his mercies are new every morning, that today's going to be a new day. It's going to be great. I know from the time I got here, met Tony, listened to his testimony. It just, it's been a wonderful day already.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it though? Tony, how are you doing this morning?
I'm excited, anxious a little bit, but I'm excited.
That's awesome.
Feel better this morning than I have in a long time.
That's amazing.
Wonderful.
Amazing. Tony, you have been through it, and we didn't even have this plan because you kind of got on last minute, and I already did our description for today, but it's all going to tie in, community, love, support, transition, all that stuff's going to be in our topic this morning. And if you have any questions or anything, just chime in on our comments there and I'll check them out. But we started out our morning here at Valley's Rise Above with our community breakfast. It's up there, open to anybody. Of course, Saturday mornings is our time where if anybody out there needs to get a hot shower, a warm meal, a place to rest this morning, you're more than welcome to come here. That's what we're about, showing love to other people, doing something that, is not the normal anymore, kind of stepping out on faith. And
right.
That's what we're all about. But with you, Tony, you have a special place with me because you reached out to me, probably over 100 days ago?
Yeah, over 100 days ago, yeah.
Come on up to the mic here and tell me about, give us a rundown of what happened.
So I decided I wanted to get clean, and two people that I met in active addiction, they both told me to reach out to you at different times. So I was like, I'm going to try this out. So when I reached out to you, you got me, took me to see my probation officer, and you helped me get into Mount Regis rehab.
What made you want to get sober? Like what happened in your life?
I was homeless, and I had no job, and my family started, shunning me out, and I had nothing. And I just started talking. I thought to myself, I said, obviously the choices I make and the things I'm doing, it's not working.
Right.
We get to that point, don't we?
Yeah.
So,
what a blessing to be there.
So I decided, I was like, I'm gonna try the sober thing. I've tried it in the past, and I know that it works. I've seen it work for other people. So that's when I decided. And then I thought it was God speaking to me through two different people at two different times. Both of them. My cousin walked into the house that I was at, and she's like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "Well, I don't have no place to stay. You know what I mean? Like, you want me to come stay with you?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Why don't you call Andrea Good?" And I'm like, I'm not calling nobody. I don't know. You know what I mean? And then about 2 or 3 days later, somebody else was at the same house, and I was telling them how I wanted to get sober, but I didn't know how I was going to go about it. And they were like, "We should reach out to Andrea." And then that's when I called you, and you were there.
It's God. It's God. I'm so grateful and thankful for everything, my past, what I had to go through, what we had to go through.
Yes.
And he's using us now as this huge entity, to help other people. And I'm just so glad that you did reach out. So once you reached out, we got your, we went to your PO, we got you into Mount Regis, which is a wonderful place to go, by the way. That's my number one place I usually send people when they reach out. You said it felt like
like country club. It was wonderful. It was an amazing place. And I got wrapped up into talking to somebody there, and they wound up leaving over a female, and they wound up coming back, throwing me a weed vape across the fence. And I'm trying to get sober and throw me a weed vape. Of course, I wound up using it, and Mount Regis kicks me out. And so I'm stranded in Roanoke. I don't know anybody, but I run across through the guy that through the weed vape. He actually knew somebody that I was locked up with.
Yeah.
So I went to his house, and he told me I could stay with him. Of course, he sells drugs, and I wound up getting a hold of some heroin, and I wound up almost dying on his living room floor. I turned blue. They used 3 cans of Narcan to try to bring me back, and knuckles on my chest, and they smacked me trying to get me to come back. But I wound up coming back right when the paramedics show up.
Man, I told you that
Praise
is
God.
just,
Yeah.
it's
He brought you
amazing.
back.
He brought you back. Meanwhile, you are coming out of this, and you're like, and the dude that you're living with is just like, man, you
Yeah,
turned blue. Like
for
even
like-
days later.
Yeah, days later, I would catch him staring at me, and I knew it had to affect him, because days later he would be just staring at me like, "What, dude?" And he'd be like, "Man, you was blue. You were blue, bro." And
Yeah.
like you could just tell it was like something that switched in him, like seeing me like that.
Yeah.
And it switched in me because 2 days later I called Galax.
You
And,
did this on your own.
yeah.
This is where you stepped in and said, you know what? I got to get out of this situation now.
Yeah, I
That
was
feeling come over you.
I was like, man, I almost died on somebody's floor. I never thought I was one of them guys that it can't happen to me. Like, it can happen to you.
Yeah.
If you're out there and you ever think that it can't happen to you, that it's never going to happen to you, it happened to me. And I was trying to be careful. I told you, I put a little. I was shooting heroin, and I put a little bit in the spoon, and I was like, man, that's probably a little too much. And I did 0.3 hundredths of a gram. It was barely anything, and it almost killed me.
And you told me that at that time, you remember even like removing just a little bit because
Yeah.
you just didn't want to, overdo that right there. Even in that moment of just removing
The Lord took your hand.
and remove.
Yeah, I looked at
Right.
it and I said, man, I better not. That's probably a little too much. You know what I mean? So, and if I'd have done that, I probably wouldn't have come back.
Yeah.
If I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
And so I called Galax, and they told me, they said, I just told you this upstairs, but they said that they would be there at 3:30 for me to make sure I answer the phone for transportation. So I hadn't got high all day, so I'm trying to get high before I go. So at 3:30, still nothing, and they messaged me and started calling me, and I'm like, no, I'm not going. So they wound up sending a message, and they were like, look, at 3:45, if we don't hear anything from you, we're going to have these people come back, transportation. We wish you the best of luck, and, we hope it works out for you, but, at 3:45, that's cut off. So it's 5:30, and I'm like, oh, thank God, I ain't got to worry about that anymore today. And so I'm sitting in my buddy's living room, in his kitchen, and his daughter's in the living room, his little girl's in the living room, and there's a knock on the door. And usually people come to the back door, but this is on the front door. So she comes, tells me, and I'm like, what are you telling me for? I don't live here. You know what I mean? Like, this y'all's house. So she goes and gets her mom, and her mom answers the door. And sure enough, it's the lady from Galax that they sent to pick me up. Her name was Tony too.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she told me, and she's like, are you ready to go? And I'm like, yeah, I guess. And she told me on the way there that I was like, I thought you guys already left. She said, yeah, her boss had told her to come back at 3:45. She said, but something came over her, and she said, God told her that if she didn't pick me up that night, that could have been my last night. So she didn't give up on me till she found me.
Praise God.
Man.
Yeah.
And to those of you that might not like that tune in, and good morning, Misty. I just see your comment there. Those of you that may not understand active addiction or addiction in general, let me fill you in on it. You kind of are ready to go, but you want to get that one last feeling before you roll out, because you want to do it, but just that one more time is all you want. And
Right.
I remember doing that many, many, many times before I went out. But isn't it amazing how God directed her right there to you at that very moment
Yeah.
and was like, get up out of this situation, come
And
on.
her obedience was connected to his life.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
That's how powerful it is for any of us.
Yeah.
Wherever you're at in
We got to
life.
listen.
If the Lord leads you to do something, do it.
Yeah. Act on it.
Because
Act on
right
it.
now we're looking at Tony as a miracle.
He is a miracle,
Yeah.
another miracle to our table. And
Yeah.
I'm so glad.
Yes.
We've had so many miracles over the past few months, and it's just, It's insane, really.
Yeah.
God is so good. Like, I
He
can't
is.
believe it.
I lost faith for a while, and I started praying a few months ago right after that happened,
Yeah.
and I haven't stopped praying. And He's brought so much good into my life. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in a good program before here. I was went to Richmond after I finished Galax, graduated. I went to Richmond, but it was too far away from home. There was a lot of stuff in the city that I'm not used to.
Yeah.
So that's when I decided my dad and stuff's here, and he's not doing too good. So when I reach out to you instantly, like I gotta say, God's been good to my life. Like
Yeah.
I got
Mhm.
a wonderful thing going now because and I truly feel like months ago when I started turning back to the Lord, that's when it all started.
Yeah.
Yeah. Truly turning back. So now the work gets to be put in, and the beautiful doors are opening. Monday you're starting a new job.
Yeah,
You have a
Wonderful.
roof over your head. You have support,
yeah. I was going
which
to say a
is
support system. That's something I've never had.
Yeah.
yeah.
I got my dad. He's my only parent, but most of my family they're in active addiction.
Yeah, but you're
So
gonna be
But see,
that light.
that's it. And like you will be the one that the Lord uses. That's why like it's so beautiful that you're allowing the Lord to work in your life. It's beautiful that you're coming on here sharing your testimony. The Bible says that we overcome by the blood of the Lamb. Obviously, we all need Jesus. We need his blood to cover us, but the word of our testimony. So just the power within you today to come and share your testimony. You don't know what fight's going on in the spiritual
Yeah.
realm. And there are lives in your family that are connected to your obedience. And so we're just so proud of you for coming in here and you're sharing your testimony. There's people on the other side of the screen right now that need to hear this. You know what I mean? And so like you're making big steps, and like we're so like stoked over what you're doing with your life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I wasn't gonna come. I was just gonna sit and watch. But Andrea asked me again, and I just felt to come over here and do it.
Yeah.
You're saving. I'm telling you, it's working out. Originally, when you got back home, your family's got like a tight. It's tight. It's tight everywhere. It's hard to find housing. Number one here in Page County. I mean, this is a huge need. But we're getting there. I think things are starting to shift. We're starting to see more rentals come up. Things are opening up. But you was gonna live in a tent for a while, so
Oh
that was
yeah.
gonna be
When I reached out to you, that was the first question I asked. I reached out to you to thank you for sending me to rehab, and I told you that I completed it. That was just the only reason I reached out.
which was
first.
beautiful. When I seen
Yeah.
that, so I seen that certificate yesterday. I made a copy of it
Yeah.
because I was like, man, that's a huge step. I mean,
Yeah.
out of everyone that we try to minister to, you can't get them all. I mean,
Right.
God has to, He's God. He's going to work through
Right.
everybody's life. We're just being used,
Right.
So some of them do slip through the cracks. But when they walk up in here with that certificate,
Wow, I know. How powerful victory.
Yeah.
That's victory in
Yeah.
Jesus right there. Yes.
And it was God in my life because when I reached out to you, just to say thank you and let you know that I was home and that I had done it, I asked you. I was like, "Do you know anywhere I can find a tent?" And you were like, "Are you homeless?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't, but I can. If you give me a tent, I can stay in a tent in summertime." And I've done it before. And you're like, "No, you're not staying in a tent."
Mm-mm.
And that
because what happens is that's what we do. We'll go right back into homeless and be right back into the couch to couch, tent to tent, camper to camper. And what it is like suddenly you start going around the people again that you used to
You
use
have
with.
to.
It's a cycle.
It is a
Yeah.
cycle.
So the cycle now has to be broken,
Right.
and you have to step out in the unknown in
Right.
places that you've never been before.
Right.
And this is an opportunity, like I told you yesterday. The doors is open now for you. The opportunity is here. The Lord wants to clearly use you,
Right.
and it's up to you to obey it now.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's the scary thing. I mean,
Yeah,
for
it
anybody out
is.
there, it's like it's scary.
That's true faith.
Yeah,
That is true faith.
yeah. Because we're used to, we're used to getting high or using, and it's like it's hard to break that cycle.
Right.
Yeah.
It really is. But now we have support here in this community. We truly do. I
Right.
mean, 5-7 years ago, we didn't have what we
Any
have
of what's
now.
going on now. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So you got true support behind you. You got real people who know the struggle and has been there. Charity's been through a lot herself. She has her other story on here, but just being homeless, living out of a
Yeah.
building for so
Yeah.
long with no
I can-
electric,
No electric, no water, using the bathroom in a bucket. You know what I mean? I remember that. I remember that. And every time I feel like I'm a little ungrateful, I feel like that the Holy Spirit reminds me of where I was.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I mean?
too.
And so it's just so powerful. When, like she said, when the Lord opens those doors, you just got to take that leap of faith. And it's good that you have such a support system, because not only here, but I mean, I know Andrea will introduce you like to the Free Indeed and Celebrate Recovery, just the different recovery meetings. And there are so many people there um, to encourage you, and that's not something that Page County ever had before. So
Mhm.
like this is just it's just a wonderful time in your life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so embrace it for just how beautiful it is. You know,
Mhm.
I'm so thankful that you reached out to her and that you didn't go set a tent up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I believe that was the Lord working right there,
Yeah.
because he wanted to put you in place with everybody who wants to see you do better. You know what I mean? We're all here for you. We are all here
And
for
another
you.
thing, like I told him yesterday, you know, church is a huge deal. Being around people who want to do better in life, listening to the word weekly, like just from somebody else here locally that you can turn to, people that you can turn to. But with that being said, like you being the of course we need church, but church needs us too. Like
Yeah.
going in there and being a light to people who,
Maybe haven't seen that.
yeah, like
You know what I
they're
mean?
looking at
Yeah.
you
They're
as
looking at
this
you like,
individual,
wow,
like
look at what
him.
God's done in his life.
Yeah.
Especially people that know me from before, know
Yeah.
you from before.
Yeah.
And you don't know who the Lord will like. And there are so many good churches around here now. You know what I mean? And maybe there were before that I didn't know about,
Yeah.
but there are so many different pastors and stuff that truly want to pour into you. You know what I mean? But like she says, it's just as important for all of us to come in there. You know what I mean? Because you,
Important to them.
yeah, it's important to
Pour
them
into
to
them.
to see your testimony.
Because you're a
It's
miracle.
yeah,
You're a miracle.
right.
And that is a blessing in itself. And people look at that and like, wow. And,
Yeah.
and it can refresh them, you
Yeah,
know.
it does
A lot of
refresh
people
them
are
because
stuck.
well,
Stuck in like the same routine
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
just I gotta go to church on Sunday. I gotta go to church and then get out and live just a normal, you know, trying to be regular life or whatever, and forgetting this is a reminder of, hey,
right. And most people, whether they're in church or not, have somebody in their family that is struggling with addiction.
Yeah.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? So if nothing else, if they can see you come out of that, you know what I mean? There are people in there are mothers and fathers in there that have had to administer Narcan to their kids, whether they want to talk about it in church or not. There are mothers and fathers in there that have had to bring their kids back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And to see somebody come in there and say, like, you know what, I came back, I'm doing better. It gives them hope.
Well,
You know
yeah,
what I
and then
mean?
the thing about it is, once you get up on your feet, honey, the sky's the limit. Like we're
Yeah,
already
that's
the
right.
sky's the limit, and then you can turn around
And help
and
somebody else.
call that guy that you know was in Roanoke.
Yeah.
Hey man, how you doing? Are you
Right.
doing all right?
Yeah.
You know, and be the one
Be that
to
light
help
to
him,
him.
that hand
Yeah.
to help him.
Because when
get
the
up out of
the
there.
light will bring it draws people from the darkness.
Mhm.
The light of Jesus in you is what draws the people out of darkness.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So it's just awesome. It's just wonderful. Like your life is like changed.
Yes.
It is forever changed. You know what I mean? Embrace it. Know that you're loved. Know that you have all of our support. You
Yeah.
know, and like we're just excited to see you grow.
I'm excited to.
I'm
be here.
excited too. And man, you used to work with the carnival. We
Yeah.
could take our wave of the Valley Drives above and just kind of wave it on down the East Coast. Because you know where it's all at,
Yeah.
right?
I did actually work for the carnival that comes out here at homecoming.
That's
Oh,
great.
wow.
Yeah, he told me he remembered me with my girls back years ago.
He can help me run my amusement park.
Yes,
Yeah.
there we go. She wants to do it. That's her dream. You know,
Yeah.
let's get an amusement park open. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, big dreams here, y'all. Big dreams here at the table. So I hope that his story has inspired someone today. Tony, I really think you need to start journaling and get a book. You need to start writing a book. Because that is amazing. And I'm just so happy for you.
And get you a Bible and start praying and develop your own relationship with the Lord by yourself. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like the church thing is wonderful. You know what I mean? We always encourage everybody to go to church, but I'm going to tell you that personal walk that you have with Jesus is going to be what truly changes your life and truly transforms your life.
Mm-hmm. Gosh, it's so great. So Jesus, March for Jesus. Join us out here. We're getting ready to go out here in just a bit to the Stanley the coffee shop, and we're gonna march and thank him for everything he's done for us in our life and do it publicly. So come on out with us and join us this morning. I hope everybody has a great Saturday. Take the time to just kind of have a moment of silence and thank God for everything. Because even if you're living in a tent right now, in a cardboard box, wherever, you know, God is real and the doors can open and you can make change.
Yes.
You just have to step out in that unknown and do it. And we're here for support.
Yes.
So you're more than welcome to PM me on Valleys Rise Above Facebook page and just listen.
Yeah.
Listen to the talk, honey.
Yeah.
Hope everyone has a great day.
Bye, guys.